Hey friends, I'm Greg Nettle, and this is the Church Planting Podcast. I serve as president of Stadia, where we believe that every person on the planet should have access to a thriving, growing, multiplying church. Today on the Church Planting Podcast, I have the opportunity to talk with a gentleman named Sam Kim. Sam Kim is an amazing business leader. He's a venture capitalist, and most importantly, he's all about the things of God and growing God's kingdom. We're going to be talking with Sam about how to ignite marketplace leaders in the ministry setting. Let's jump right in with our friend Sam Kim. So I'm here with Samuel Kim, and I'm so excited about this episode of the Church Planting Podcast. Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Greg, for having me.
Yeah. So, Sam, I read through your bio. I've got to spend a little bit of time with you, and it's really quite the amazing resume you have. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm actually humbled listening to all the other people you've had on these business podcasts. I don't know if I qualify, but hopefully I can give my 2 cents. So my secular background, I guess my professional background, is in venture capital. So I run a VC fund that invests in early stage startup companies commercializing advanced materials, semiconductors, photonics, what we call hard sciences. We partner with a lot of corporate investors on our deals. We'll be working with the Intels, the GEs, the Conoco, Chevron, other strategic investors that like to have a financially minded investor come alongside them. We've got about 7 portfolio companies, a couple of them here in Austin, Texas. That's kind of where I had previously kind of sectioned my secular kind of professional part of my life. It's only recently in the last 6 or so years that really the secular spiritual divide is starting to merge together. So that's kind of been exciting.
Let's talk about that. So you've talked kind of about your business leader, professional career, if you will, but what do you do right now kind of from merging that ministry leader standpoint?
Yeah, and I think that maybe it's helpful to tell you kind of about my spiritual background and kind of where I was before God kind of called me into more ministry. I grew up in a Christian family, went to Sunday school, went to church every Sunday. A couple uncles were missionaries, so it was a big part of my life, but very much a cultural part of my life. I've heard the term used that I was a Christian by default, which is a blessing. Don't get me wrong. I'm so thankful for my parents and my family for giving me that environment to grow up in. But it was very much a cultural and head knowledge thing. I knew how to score an A on how to be a Christian test, but the head-heart connection really wasn't there. And I would say when I left for college, really fell away from the Lord, really chased my own worldly desires, success, etc. And it was, I was thankful that God sent my wife to kind of rescue me from that and brought me back into church, going to college ministry and all of that. And one of the first conversations I had with her was about the Ragamuffin Gospel by Brennan Manning. And it really just kind of awesome book. And it really kind of brought me back. But still, I would say, okay, now I'm going to church now on Sundays. I'm married. I have kids. But still very much felt like I was just going through the motions, and I use a football team analogy, which I may have talked to you about before, but, I felt like I was on the field, but I didn't know where the end zone was. I didn't know, which direction I was supposed to go. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I just knew that, I was in church. The pastor kept telling me, we got to serve, we got to love one another, we got to love our neighbors, get involved. And so I did that. I was part of the, Sunday school. I was part of the church worship team even, and just participating wherever I felt like I could, but still I felt like I was spinning my wheels. And it wasn't until 2015 that I took a class called Perspectives, which is, I'm sure you're well aware of that course.
I've been through it, Sam. It's fantastic.
It's amazing, but it's 16 weeks long. And it's like college kids are taking it for college credit. And so a lot of, professionals aren't going to be able to invest the time to take a course like that. But that course completely changed my life. It talks about kind of the basis of missions, why we do missions in the first place, and come to find out that the Bible is all about missions, right? It's not just a couple of verses here and there in Matthew. It's the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation is about reaching the unreached with the gospel of Jesus. And it never clicked with me until I took that course. It was like a scales falling from my eyes moment. And really from that moment on, it was like, oh my gosh, it's not my uncle, that's in China doing missions. It's like we're all on mission. And God has called all of us as Christians to do our part. And so, not all of us are wired to go travel to Africa or travel to China, and love on people and pray with them and disciple them. And I wish I had those qualities. But some of us just aren't wired to do that, and we're more wired with other blessings and other talents that may not be conducive to personal relationships. It may be more technological. It may be more business oriented. It may be, in just your know-how or your ability to raise money or just the people that that can all be leveraged for the kingdom. And so, for a long time, I felt like, as a business person engaging with the Great Commission, I don't think the Big C church, the global church, has challenged business people enough. I think a lot of times we just ask for money, ask them to tithe, and help us with on the finance committee once in a while. But what if the business people went all in with all of their business talents and skills and expertise and know-how and connections and et cetera? What does that look like for the global church, and how does that impact us getting the gospel to the unreached? And so as God was talking to me through perspectives and my heart was changing and all that head knowledge finally clicked, and it's just everything.
Okay, so Sam, I need you to stop there
Okay.
just for a minute. So where did you take
I took
perspectives?
perspectives at my home church right now at Austin Ridge Bible Church here in,
Yep,
yeah.
great church. And so they did. So the perspectives, it's 16 weeks long, but I just don't want to miss this because it's such a valuable tool for some people to get
Oh,
started. I mean, it was really beneficial in my life as well.
absolutely. I just felt that it's a lot for someone to jump into, and I just wanted to reduce that barrier. I wanted to make it easier
Yeah.
for people just to get the core message, because just even knowing a little bit about what Perspectives teaches could be a game changer for some people.
And so it's all coming together for you now in your heart and your
Yes.
life. Where did it go from there?
So as I started looking around, the first thing I did was just talk to anyone that would talk to me about kingdom business, people who were already doing it. I actually got on a plane with a friend and we traveled literally around the world, scheduled lots of visits with, people doing business in Turkey, in Dubai, not just kingdom business, but also church plants, missionaries, also foreign embassies, just to learn about what would it look like to do business there. How hard is it to do? Are there investors? Is there financing, et cetera, et cetera? What is the Holy Spirit doing in these regions? How could business come in and be the most strategic for these places? And so learned a ton about kind of the current status. But I came back almost overwhelmed at the amount of work that is yet to be done. There's over 3 billion people that still need to hear the gospel. And me trying to do my little thing, a little project. And God wires everyone differently, right? I mean, maybe He just wired me to think in a different way, perhaps, than other people. But I just wasn't satisfied doing one project that may, have an impact here. I kind of wanted to take a step back and look at why aren't there more people like me? I'm just one guy with one set of expertise in this, this little high tech thing that really doesn't have a lot of application, globally for the most needy. Um, you know, who else is out there that God has blessed with amazing skill and talent and connections and influence? And if God could just grab a hold of their heart, they could do so much more than I could do. And what if we got hundreds of thousands of business guys thinking like this, or millions of business guys thinking like that? That's so much more than just Sam Kim trying to do what I can with my little, business, etc. And so God kind of gave me this vision for creating a program that was like a perspectives, but condensing it down and targeting it more towards business people,
And making it much more user
making it
friendly.
accessible and easy to do over lunch, to do with colleagues, in a conference room, to do it in a small group, where you don't have to actually go physically be somewhere. We put it all online so that you can take this course whenever you have free time, whenever you can fit it into your schedule. But we really tried to condense down the important kind of key points that really rocked my world, to be honest with you, when I heard it for the first time. And I just want more business people to hear that. And so we've created a really high production quality course, at least I think so. Uh,
No, it's good. I've watched it. It's
yeah, and
fantastic.
we've got
Yep.
some great speakers. And so, the way we've structured this curriculum is to talk about what the Bible says about missions and business, but also give examples of people who are doing it. And so we wanted to give a wide spectrum of different examples. We have Christina Gonzalez, who runs a beauty salon here in Austin, and she started a beauty salon training program in Rwanda to train the local indigenous women there how to do hair and how to teach them to start a little beauty shop business. We have, a high-tech entrepreneur that's raised venture capital money doing artificial intelligence. And so they do a lot of data tagging of all those cameras on, Tesla vehicles and the Google cars that you see, all that high definition video that they run for, 24/7, that has to be analyzed by a human being and tagged. That's a tree, that's a stop sign, etc. And the more human tagging there is, the more accurate the artificial intelligence becomes. Perfect way to leverage that is to take that to places like Malaysia, where he has partnered with the government and provided a platform where people, and you don't need college education to be able to recognize a tree or a stop sign. Anybody can come in, and with minimal training, they can start earning money through this artificial intelligence data tagging platform. And so these are ways that people, and those are just a couple examples, but these are people that are not necessarily departing from their business expertise, right? They're not saying, okay, I made my money here, now I'm going to take my money and start a ministry. They are literally taking what they are good at, right? And in this case, an AI company or a hair salon, and leveraging that for the gospel. And so, that's God doesn't call everyone to do that. I recognize that. But that's kind of my heartbeat. I don't want to waste anything that God has given me.
Sam, I so appreciate that. We just at Stadia just recently have had a vice president of Amazon who oversaw all of their global distribution. He designed the systems for global distribution for
Amazing.
Amazon, and he just said, "I want to use my." So he quit at Amazon, and now he's helping Stadia develop a global platform to deliver our relationships and resources at a global level. But the story's the
Yeah.
same, right? This is a guy, he's not moving out of his field of
Hmm.
expertise. He's just saying, how can I use that in God's
Exactly.
kingdom?
And I think a lot of business people tend to categorize, their work, professional life, and then their spiritual ministry life. And so, I think that a lot of times they feel like, okay, if I'm going to go more into ministry, I got to go quit this thing. I got to sell my business, and then I'm just going to go and do what the missionaries tell me to do. I'm going to move to Africa, etc. I think that's the wrong way to think about it. I think that the more God calls you into ministry, the more we should be looking at, okay, what has God equipped us with? What are we good at? And how can we be most efficient with God's blessings in His Word?
Okay, so I think everyone listening is going, this is great. This is what I'm thinking. Let's get really practical. What the name of the product you designed, and how can we access it?
Okay, the curriculum is called Bless Ignite. You can get to it on www.bless.world. /ignite. And the curriculum is there live right now. Anyone can go take it. And it's a 5-session course. And there's a course reader that we're actually working on right now, that we're going to publish and send it along, so that people can take it with the course. But really, we didn't stop at the course, because we understand that exposing people to it is just part of the journey. And the last thing I wanted to do was get people excited about it and then drop the ball. And then the next time they hear it, it's like, we've already been there, done that. What's the next, thing we can do? And so we really wanted to create on-ramping pathways, so that once people kind of get the picture, they're like, all right, I'm in. I want to use my talents for the kingdom. We wanted to build easy ways for them to start looking at all the different options of ways they can engage. Nonprofits, Great Commission focused nonprofits that are already doing great work, that are thinking about business, and funding business and leveraging that to fund ministries locally, etc. Just some really cool projects that are starting to pop up. So what we're trying to do is develop a Kickstarter style crowdsourced platform for funding kingdom projects, which we're really excited about. So we have several projects already live right now, and we've already funded some of them. So we want to continually keep refreshing them. But this is going to give us an opportunity to get not only the people coming out of the curriculum, engaged and interested, but also we're able to fundraise for these awesome nonprofits year round, through kind of a crowdsourcing platform. So we're real excited about that. We're just implementing that. In the future, we do have plans to create kind of a LinkedIn style network, where people can start connecting with one another as they go through the curriculum, as they realize and meet other people in their industry, like energy, biotech, etc. They can start connecting and brainstorming and building community with each other. So we're really thinking on a big kind of platform basis. This is just the beginning right now. We're trying to get the curriculum out so that as many people as possible can watch it and just be on the same page with us. We've done we've done about 3 pilots with Austin Ridge, with about 150 people. And it's been awesome, just at my own local church, just to see the connections that are being made. And one guy is like, oh man, I work in medical devices and we have all these expired medical devices. I don't know what to do with it. And then another guy says, oh, I do like sterilization for used medical devices. And like an amazing connection, right? Just happens to be there. And that conversation and that connection happened through this curriculum because they both started thinking about how they can leverage, their blessings for spreading the gospel.
So I'm a leader. I'm a leader in the local church, and I want to start this group. And so this is something I could gather
Yes.
people to take together, even, right?
Yes.
Okay. And who should I be inviting?
You should be inviting your business guys. We started with kind of the guys that were already chomping at the bit to do something, and just give them a little bit of a more of a nudge. But the next time, it's a wider net. It's a larger audience, and I guarantee you, there's a lot of business guys just sitting in the pews bored. Just, is this all God wants me to do? And if you challenge them with this and say, no, you are responsible right now with all the blessings that God's given you right now. And how how that's changed my life, my personal life, just at the church. Just my walk with the Lord has been game changing. A lot of addictions and bad habits vaporized overnight. I mean, if you're looking for real like heart change, for a business guy, this is I don't know. This was it for me. So
Okay, so I know I believe you're using the term loosely, but I just want to make sure. So clarify, you're using the term guys. Is this good for women as well?
Oh, I'm sorry. When I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and you use all you guys to mean men and women. So I did not mean to
Yeah.
refer only to men. But yes, absolutely. For example, Christina Gonzalez is one of our first week 1 examples of a woman entrepreneur doing that. And so yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is, taking perspectives, which is a great course, making it more accessible, more user friendly, and so it's just fabulous. So again, I want to repeat this. It is www dot.
Bless.World /ignite.
So go there, check it out, and you can go take a look at all of it, see how you can use it. Because listeners, we need to engage business people in our local churches, certainly, but also for the entire kingdom. It's not just about our own little kingdom, because at the end of the day, all of us are working kind of, when we're in a specific church, it's just one part of the kingdom. And what Samuel's opening up here is the kingdom at large for business leaders, and it's just an incredible tool. Okay, Sam, we have just a few more minutes, and I'm asking three questions of every business leader that I'm interviewing as we wrap up. Here's number one. What do you wish pastors would do more of?
Challenge business leaders to do more than just tithe.
And give us, because you're one of those people there, how do you challenge them? Give us a couple real practical things. Just do this today.
Talk to us about doing a pilot of the Ignite curriculum. That's one of the things that we're trying to do. We're putting it all online so it's easy for people, but really I think the way that this is going to grow is to partner with churches that really believe in this and want to engage their congregations with the message that we're trying to spread. I would love to talk to any pastors that are interested in doing a live kind of curriculum. And we can tell you all the things we've learned by doing it live, doing the pilots here at Austin Ridge. We've got the materials that you need to have leaders. So I would love nothing more than to talk with other pastors about how to engage their congregations with our curriculum. As well as, there's a lot of other curriculum out there, I think.
Yeah, but we're going to use the best. So we're going to use Ignite. And so, Sam, you would love to talk to pastors. If I'm listening to this right now, I'm listening. How do we go to that same website, web address, and they can reach out to your organization?
You can contact me at SAM at Bless.World. That's my email address. I would love to talk to churches out there that would like to implement something like this.
This curriculum is something that every church planter could use. In fact, I'm thinking if I'm launching a church, what a great way to engage business leaders right from the start and get this buried in the DNA of who we are as a church. Yeah. But then I'm thinking, man, if you're a mega church out there right now or somewhere in between, what a great opportunity as a first step to engage. So to engage those businesses. Here's question number 2. What do you wish pastors would do less of?
I guess be afraid of business people. I've heard that a lot from pastors. I don't speak their language. I don't know how to think like they think. I'm kind of like afraid to talk to them and engage them. So I think that, it kind of goes to the first question. I think just being bold and challenging those guys. Don't be afraid that they're going to leave your church, and all the tithe money that goes with them. I mean, be bold and challenge them. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to be even more engaged and even more all in when they realize that, man, he wants me to take my business now. It seems like a lot to ask, right? You're asking these business guys, how can you leverage your business for the gospel? And I think, there is kind of this, this feeling of, we shouldn't really talk about how they make money and, that kind of thing. But I think we should just kind of peel the cover off that and just say, hey, what do you do for your business? How much money do you make? How can we leverage that for the kingdom? What kind of relationships do you have? What's your expertise? Here are some projects, and we got a bunch here, but I'm sure you guys have through your networks, a lot of projects that need business expertise. And instead of these nonprofits going out and hiring, business development guy at market prices, what if we got like the best of the best, the VPs of Amazon and Google come in and saying, hey, I want to leverage this expertise to help your nonprofit, your little small nonprofit that would have no business getting this level of expertise. Guess what? This is what I'm going to do because I love Jesus and I want you to succeed and take the gospel to the unreached. So
Yeah, Sam, the VP of Amazon, we could never begin to afford his expertise,
Exactly.
and he is now considered a staff volunteer because he was so excited to be able to leverage his giftedness to expand God's kingdom. So I so appreciate that. I was just thinking, Sam, while you're speaking, I can't believe this, but I'm mentoring a group of 6 young business leaders right now,
Hmm.
and I'm going, we're going to do this curriculum together.
Oh, that's awesome.
We haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going, why haven't I taken them through this? That's like the logical next step now. So thank you for that.
I did want to mention that it's not just for churches. We're not just interested in churches. There's businesses. Maybe you're a CEO of a company, or maybe you run an organization and you're looking at this and saying, I think my company and my employees might benefit from this type of curriculum. And so, I think we've developed this curriculum so that anybody, church or company or organization, can run this in a small group setting. Maybe you take 5 lunches, once a week, and do this with your group at work. So I wanted to not to just limit it to churches that we're interested in working with, but if you're a company and are interested in running this, please let me know.
Hey, Sam, I'm taking notes here because my synapses are all firing right now. I'm coming up with all these ideas, and we can talk later offline about that. Question number 3, last question. What has been one thing that a pastor has done that has been especially helpful to you?
Yeah, I think that makes me think about the pastor that told me to go take perspectives, knowing that probably I would say no and I'm too busy, and oh my gosh, 16 weeks. But he was bold and he asked me to take it, and he was really kind of adamant about taking it because he was going to take it too. And I don't know why, but I took the course. And really, I wasn't going to take the course. I was just going the first week just to kind of check it out and audit it and, you know, try and weasel out of it somehow. But man, the first week, Todd Arend, I don't know if you know him, traveling team, he was the speaker, just blew the doors off. So haven't been the same since then.
I'm so glad that that pastor wasn't afraid to ask you and make the ask, and that provided a good product. And so, listeners, go to the website, get in touch with Sam if you want. But Sam, I am absolutely grateful that you are leveraging your gifting, continuing in the business world, but looking at it all as one whole with the kingdom just permeating everything. Thank you so much for your time.
Greg, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm humbled by all that you are doing for the kingdom. I'm just blessed to just participate with you. So thank you.